Gamer's Garage.
Can't stop the train, baby. Woo!
Good day, everybody. Welcome to the 17th round of the Losers Bracket, hosted by the Gamers Garage, brought to you by VVV Gaming. We've got some amazing news that we're going to be sharing with you. We got a great guest, Annie Leung, Ecstacy. We're going to start things off by talking about a huge Korean eSports scandal going on in the Starcraft world.
Talk about Korea not having a good past couple of weeks. And before we get right into the scandal, we should probably talk about Blizzard and the Korean Esports Agency really not seeing eye to eye on the rights to broadcast and show StarCraft matches. So this has put some doubt on the future of Korean professional StarCraft. I think they're going to survive, but it makes me wonder, why do the Koreans seem to think they can get this stuff for free?
It's strange, isn't it? Kepsa and Blizzard have been in talks for quite a while, and basically it all boils down to Blizzard wants a cut of what they're making. Basically, Blizzard is not getting any royalties from the use of their IP. Kepsa feels like they don't have to. They finally broke off talks with one another. Kepsa feels that they can do this without Blizzard. Blizzard feels that they are entitled to some of the money that they are making. It's a huge problem on both sides.
Well, I think that Blizzard really doesn't have anything to sort of like lose in all of this. You know, I think to be fair, it is their IP. Essentially, they've given Kespa a free ride. With StarCraft 2 coming out, it's a brand new game, new IP. It's the 21st century. Digital rights are much more discussed and debated, and it's a legitimate revenue stream. So I'm on Blizzard's sides on this one. I think Blizzard is absolutely right to say, you know what, if you're not going to pay us, you don't get to show it, you don't get to profit from it. I think this has to be done.
You know, and the problems don't end there.
The big problem here out of everything else is that there's been this huge scandal inside the StarCraft community that basically involves cheating. You've got brokers who are taking bets, and you have StarCraft pro players who are basically throwing matches and getting a cut of this. This is like one of my constant critiques about eSports. If eSports is going to be really successful and legitimate, you're certainly going to, Korea was on a really good streak, but these people are blowing matches for about the equivalent of $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. They're blowing big matches, and then people are getting a cut on this. So you've got 3 brokers, 2 bettors, and basically about 11 StarCraft players who are match fixing. And I mean, this goes to the top. This involves Savior. For those of you that don't know who Savior is, he's probably South Korea's top StarCraft player, Ma Jae-yoon. And Jae-yoon, I think back in December, is when he played Hwasin, known as Jin Young-soo, and Young-soo ended up winning that match. And that wasn't the first time. If you really start to look at this, I think this is like one of those moments where sports sort of grows up and meets the real world and finds out that people really aren't that good and they're really not that nice. And when you throw money into the mix, bad things will happen. And I mean, now I think that's going to really put, a really black mark on Korean esports.
I think it's interesting to see how for a very long time eSport has sort of gotten away with a lot of things. Even in places where it is big, it's still not a big cultural global thing that we have that everybody shares equally. So you have, Blizzard wanting its royalties and things because Korean eSports has been, especially StarCraft has been getting away with not having to pay, royalties for using their IP. Over here in the United States, MLG wasn't able to get permission from Nintendo to run the stream of Smash Bros. At MLG events because Nintendo didn't want them doing it, but they had gotten away with it earlier. It's almost like maybe we're hitting a point where things that were customary or traditional or we just got away with in esports aren't going to be the same, going into, the next few years. We may see some changes because of what we're, experiencing now.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're absolutely right. And, to be honest, the Koreans have in many ways, been the most enthusiastic supporters of esports. Let's be honest. I mean, they had TV aired online matches, cable television channel that's wholly dedicated to footage from online matches. I mean, they got stadium style backdrops. A lot of the young kids are treating the top players like celebrities. But along the way, this comes to a head when, lo and behold, the negative influences will come in. And, I think that I've got my friend who I've been talking to on the ground. She teaches in Korea, and she said, this is what the kids are talking about. There's still a large culture of family pride, of respect, of honor. Most of the young people, like in America, I think we're a lot more tolerant for this kind of shady behavior. We think that people should be punished, but that's good. We don't usually get angry unless we're really, really passionate. But from what I'm hearing from my friend Sarah DeVille, on the ground, the South Koreans are upset. They're emotionally angry at the players that are involved in this scandal. One of the players completely left eSports and joined the military and gave a formal apology. So, I mean, this is big news, and it's also a lesson to us in North America. These are the things that we will have to deal with should eSports continue to grow in the U.S. Because let's face facts, in Vegas you can bet on almost anything. I think this is something we'll have to deal with. And like you said, Rapture, just like we'll have to deal with digital rights and streaming video on the internet. Eventually, the companies that create IPs are going to want a share of those who profit from it. And I think that affects all of us. And trust me, we could probably talk about this all night, but we've got an exciting night tonight. So for those of you who are following StarCraft news, I'm sure there's going to be more developments. We're going to be following this closely. Let's come back to the United States. We've sort of left Korea now, and let's talk about MLG Chicago, the Combine.
Yeah, Victoria's Secret. They're a team that actually has applied for VUV, too. They ended up winning the Chicago Combine. They went in as the number 1 seed, and they came out with the win. They had an extended 7-game series against Livin' the Dream, and they ended up pulling it out in Game 7, where they took a Heretic, captured the flag, 5-1. So congratulations to Victoria's Secret. Great job, guys, on your win.
That's very impressive, and I can't wait to see what you guys do at Columbus. So good luck to you guys and have fun.
Yeah, you know what I think, though? I'm a little bit disappointed with the way we handled actually that. I'm going to be critical about us here for a second. And we're never going to do this again. We let DM Brandon be our sponsorship request sort of manager. And at the end of the day, Solid really wanted us to get Victoria's Secret. We kind of hesitated and said, no, let's wait one event. Mostly because of Brandon's suggestion that, I really don't see why it's necessary. And at the end of the day, we ended up dropping him anyway just because of his attitude. In a way, I think we could have handled it better, but I'm really happy for Victoria's Secret. I think that's fantastic that they went in, they dominated. I mean, for them, I think it was just a very solid performance. I don't think anybody can take anything away from the way they took it all. So, again, I agree with all of you. Congratulations to Victoria's Secret.
In other tournament news, the VV Gaming tournaments, our Han tournament is in the final 2 matches. The losers bracket semifinals just finished, where Milk ended up taking the victory there. They will be playing Loaded in the losers bracket finals. In the championship game, 5 is waiting for the winners. That's pretty exciting. As for the FIFA tournament, things are going great there. We're ending the first week of the group round right now. The Gears of War League is also underway. Things are going great there. The very first match was just played, and that was Mass Genocide versus Murder by Numbers, where Mass Genocide ended up with a stunning upset, 4-3. So congratulations to them as well. It's going to be a very interesting season. I can't wait to see the rest of the league.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the Gears of War League because, in many ways, we've started it. Host advantage is important, as it is always is online. A 4-3 match is close. MBN was the away team. I really look forward to seeing how this breaks down statistically at the end because I think we're going to have 380 matches played. I forget the exact number. Do you remember, Jason, what that number was?
I believe that's correct.
Yeah, it was somewhere about 380 matches. So we're going to have an enormous statistical base to look and see how these settings affected home and away teams and some of the players. So I'm pretty stoked about this. So overall, I think this is going to be, I'm excited. I hope everybody's equally excited.
All right, guys, I want to introduce everyone to our special guest this evening. We have Annie Leung, also known as Ecstacy in the world of Guitar Hero. Welcome to the show, Annie.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. We've got a bunch we want to talk to you about, and, I almost feel like I should say this first off. You kicked my ass at WCG last year. We ended up splitting it 1-1. I mean, it was a great match. Hey, no, but still, the first match you kicked my ass. I gotta ask, by any chance, are you trying to get into the WCG Nationals again this year?
Oh, definitely. Right now I'm starting to practice some of the playlists or set lists, some of the songs. I hadn't actually started practicing until like Monday because I've been like, I just graduated and I was just completely swarmed with finals and essays. So I haven't really spent too much time playing Guitar Hero 5 at all or just gaming in general. I played a little bit here and there, but right now I'm really starting to, get serious and practice all the songs and hopefully sign up for one of the qualifiers coming up in June, I think.
We always try to get to know the people that come on our show. So, congratulations on your graduation. Tell everybody where you're graduating from, what your plans are after graduation. Congrats.
Thank you. So I graduated from UC Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley, and I have a degree in environmental economics and policy. Right now, I'm just kind of enjoying my time off and just going to play some games and hopefully go to a few events this summer and compete. Other than that, just, like any other college grad, can be looking for a job.
Do you see any grad school in the future?
That is something I would definitely want to do. Maybe 2 or 3 years down the road. I want to have more job experience.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. So environmental economics, when I hear that, I think cap and trade, and I think of a lot of challenges that we had facing us. What particularly got you into environmental economics?
I was introduced to a class. It was just like physical geography or something, and it started talking about all these environmental problems, and I was studying more like econ courses at the time, and then Berkeley, I saw they had, environmental economics major, which I didn't really know too much about. But then once I started looking into it, it really fascinated me because it covers such a broad field of topics, everything from population to water resource management and, everything in between. So I could really go in a lot of different directions. It's a really versatile major. It's really relevant to, today's time too with global warming, all that stuff, being green.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, I think that's awesome. Plus, you've got a good faculty over there because that's the College of Natural Resources there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, let's get back to all things Guitar Hero and gaming. I'll turn this over to you, Jason. Let you go from here.
So switching back to the Guitar Hero thing, I've got something I really wanted to clear up, and I gotta admit, this is one of the reasons we brought you on the show. Kelly and myself have both gotten a few email messages regarding the way that we talked about you and CG and the beef that came up. I was hoping by bringing you on the show, maybe we could clear up some of the things that have been up in the air. I would definitely love to hear your side of the story, if you don't mind sharing, and any details you could give us would be greatly appreciated.
What kind of emails did you guys get, if I can ask? In support or against? Or
Against, baby cakes.
Well, to be honest, I guess, we talked about it last week as far as what this discussion was. And Kelly, you sort of can talk about how we got involved in all this or why we covered it.
Well, real quick. But like Kelly, she's in a position where she knows CG from WCG, the Ultimate Gamer Show, and she's been there since the beginning of this year's drama. So I think she would be the perfect person, to have in this discussion. And as well as Jason, who comes from the competitive side of Guitar Hero, and, what's competitive and who the top players are. So you're also vital to this, not vital, but important, or kind of you can bring a legitimized point.
And to clarify before Kelly goes into this, I want to talk about what exactly we were talking about so that everybody's on the same page with us. We were talking about this idea of the multi-genre gamer. Prodigy says it, CG says it. Oh, you know what? You may have beat me at that game, but I'm a multi-genre gamer, and I'm good at all these games. And we read your blog, Annie, and I liked what it said. I read it. I agreed with it in principle. I'm probably less interested in the, whatever personal drama there is. But I do reject the notion that there is such a thing as a multi-genre gamer, because VV Gaming, has a huge competitive community. We are filled with multi-genre gamers, and they're all excellent at what they do. But if we're going to talk about eSports, if we're going to talk about the pinnacle of whether it's the talent at the World Cyber Games or the talent at Major League Gaming, then this isn't multi-genre gaming. This is about the most skilled people. And I think this is upset Prodigy. It's upset CG. But, I stand my ground on that. I have not a lot of respect. So maybe if you'd like to summarize first before Kelly, unless you want to add something, Kelly, talk to us about what made you write that blog.
Okay. Well, first of all, it kind of started with the whole WCG auditions, and, I was going to just try out and see what it's about, and I get there and, I see CG and she's talking to other people. But, I didn't interact with her really. I didn't say anything or even really give her any dirty looks or anything like that. I didn't really, she was there, I was doing my thing, I left. And, afterwards, she wrote on her Twitter, like, all these things, like, how I lost all my games, what was I doing there, since I make fun of multi-genre gamers. So, I kind of ignored that for a while, and then I just saw some other things that, she was saying, and I finally spoke up, and I wrote this blog because, it's not really about our cat fight or whatever people want to call it.
Whoa, wait, TV timeout. Didn't she make a video distinctly shit-talking you at the whole beginning, and then at the end she comes back and is just like, oh, well, this is just an update for my fans and stuff like that.
I can't even keep track of how much.
And then she removed it or made it, quote, private on her YouTube page because it was no longer visible to the public. And then you made your blog retaliating into all the accusations she has against you, because I saw those Twitters all through WCG weekend. Everyone's auditioning in each different city and stuff like that. And I knew you were going, and I knew exactly who the fuck she was talking about in her Twitters. I knew she was talking about you. And like the whole time, I just don't understand why sit there and tweet about one person being a pro Guitar Hero player. She's not going around building herself up as like, oh, I'm a Gears player, oh, I'm a COD player, oh, look at me, I won Forza. You didn't do any of that, but yet she's sitting here, accusing you as if you did or something. And that's where I saw the drama completely go underway. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I completely forgot about the video blog that she did. That was actually what made me write my blog. I don't think many people saw it because it was only up for like a day. But she basically, called me a bitch and said that, why was I even saying that I won WCG, and why am I saying I'm the best female, this and that. And I don't even remember like all the things she said, but it kind of prompted me to write my blog. It's just so silly and ridiculous, like how she markets herself sometimes as a multi-genre gamer, competitive, because there's a difference, because you can be a multi-genre gamer, but then she's marketing herself as the best female.
Absolutely, because I have a video game from each different category of games, but I don't sit here and call myself the best at them. I don't nearly attend tournaments for Forza. I never will, but I'm pretty good at them. And yeah, I play multiple genres, but I'm not like the best multi-genre gamer, and nor will I ever play Street Fighter or stuff like that. But I can hold my own against the, occasional Randy McPandy sauce. But that's
and
just
the thing
me.
is, like, even on the show, she wasn't the last female to get eliminated. There was Delicate, and I don't know, I think Amy that was ahead of her.
Yeah,
so I don't know if that even, like, counts as anything, but it's just, like, I don't get where she gets this title from. It's her way of marketing herself, but I haven't even started drama with her for the longest time, since maybe Devastation last year, It wasn't like I was starting, it was just like I was bringing up a topic, whatever it was last year, but I haven't even said anything, approached her, hinted at anything. I've been doing my own thing. And for her to just come out and start attacking me after the auditions, I was like, kind of trying to ignore it. But then she went so far to make this blog. That's when I had to really just kind of speak out and say, there's no such thing as, this title that you're giving yourself. And you haven't won anything. And you haven't, this is the thing too. She lists her accomplishment list. It's like huge, but if you actually read into it, it's like nothing really.
Local land. No one went to this land, but I did.
Of this tournament, but you know what I mean? Like my group won like first place at this tournament on the first round. It's like things like that. Like that's what she lists, and that's not real like accomplishments or like real.
I totally understand. I know for a fact that one of her national tournaments that she claims to have taken third place in was, it was a Guitar Hero 3 tournament that was being run by GameSpot. The reason I know about this was because I actually won the second event that they did. And in the first event, there was 4 competitors that were supposed to be flown out to San Francisco to play for this title. And one of them, when they found out the rules, declined, even though they had qualified and were going to win this free trip. They said, you know what, I'm not feeling this. I can't do it. They needed a 4th person to fill in the spot. And so since she lived in the area, she was invited to become a part of it.
What? I think this highlights something. And I'm sorry to cut you off. I really am. But I think this highlights something. I think if we put our brains together on something, I bet we can figure out why this exists. Let's start this kind of innocuously. Annie, can you talk to us about your own career real quick and where you are today? Can you talk about any organizations you played for, what your career has been like, if you don't mind?
Okay, so, I was actually originally a first-person shooter PC gamer. I played Unreal Tournament 2004, and then when Unreal Tournament 3 came out in fall of 2007, that's when I got picked up by Team Evil Geniuses, and they sponsored me along with, a couple other top male players at the time. So that's where I really got my start into the scene of competitive gaming. During that year of 2008, there really wasn't that many competitions for UT. There was maybe 2 or 3. So then I started playing Guitar Hero because it was getting really popular at the time. And, I had no experience whatsoever. I started with Guitar Hero 3. It was just really fun for me. And it was kind of like my stress reliever from UT, actually. And I started playing it. I started getting really addicted to it. And by the time the WCG announced that they were having Guitar Hero for the first time, I was just hoping maybe I could make a qualifier. Maybe I can get to the national finals. I wasn't getting my hopes up or anything, but that's when I started practicing a lot. And that's when I qualified. And, I was just blown away by how fast I improved in this game that I played less than a year. So after that, I went to national finals and competed in that. And then I basically just kind of dropped UT because there really wasn't any more competition for it. And the community kind of died and, wasn't really picked up by any gaming leagues. So I just started playing Guitar Hero and putting all my time into that. And since then, I've just basically been doing WCG Invitational qualifiers. Went to Devastation last year. And, I compete in a couple online tournaments as well. I think Stevo had one, and some others. I can't remember. But basically, yeah, I've, evolved from a PC player to a console Guitar Hero player. I really have to thank Guitar Hero because it's been my dream to always compete in WCG or other, big name gaming organizations. And I would have never had the chance with Unreal Tournament because it never got picked up. And because of Guitar Hero, having been picked up, I had this opportunity to get big and be able to go to, national finals. And
absolutely. So are you still with Team EG?
Well, this year I decided I wanted to take a break from that because I was really focused on graduating this semester. So I told them I wanted to hold off on re-signing. They've been really generous in saying that if I ever wanted to come back and compete again, that they would be, more than willing to support. So we'll see in the summer, hopefully if I, need it. Because this year I think WCG's in LA, so it's not really that far, but if there's any other competitions, that I really need support for travel and things like that, then, I'll definitely contact them again. So I wasn't kicked off or, some people have been saying or anything like that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I had heard that too. I had heard from another top Guitar Hero player. He came to me and said that he had a large conversation with one of the top managers of EG who had, and I'm not trying to say this to offend you in any way whatsoever, I'm just repeating what they said, had said, well, she never wins anything, so we had to let her go. That was the exact way that it was said to me.
Well, I don't know who they heard that from, but, they offered me contract and they talked to me and they were discussing contract details with me for this year. So I think that's pretty clear that they were going to re-sign me, but I, declined because I wanted to focus more on my school.
Considering who I heard it from, I understand.
Well, let's go to, this brings it up here. So, it's a good story here to say, at the end of the day, you discovered you have this talent for Guitar Hero and you were able to take advantage of that and compete at Devastation, compete at the WCG qualifiers. And all that's fantastic in a lot of ways. The Guitar Hero was the sort of platform that launched in the competitive gaming scene. And to me, that is a very natural fit. All right, just out of curiosity, Jason, what is CG's background as far as you know?
If I remember correctly, she, until just recently, was a part of Empire Arcadia.
Empire Arcadia.
Who's that?
Well, Kelly, you're always following Triforce's Facebook. Isn't the ARC closed and they're going bankrupt and they need money and all this other stuff going on?
That's what I hear. From my recently updated posts, apparently Triforce, the Game Master, is asking for some money. They're in a financial crisis to bail the ARC, or should I call it an apartment, out of financial crisis. More info to be announced, everyone. gone, and he went into his throne room for the next 2 weeks to solve some matters on the Ark's problems. So I'm not too sure what's going on with that organization, but I do know CG has left the Empire of Arcadia. Personally, I think it was for the best of her. They have this sort of feel to them that makes them think like they are the best at what they do and everything, and apparently, you know, like you got Rob thinking he's the best Gears of War player in the whole wide world, and then you got CG thinking she's God almighty Guitar Hero / Street Fighter player when she hasn't done too much in either.
This multi-genre thing has a lot to do with this Empire Arcadia thing. They try to be, like you said, try to be good at everything. Remember when they sponsored Legacy when Gears of War 2 was on the circuit because they're trying to get into shooters. And then they have M2K, who is a Smash Bros. Player. I mean, they're trying to do a lot because as far as they're concerned, they are the best at everything they do. And because of that, if they do everything, then they'll be the best at everything. And that sort of comes down to their players. And, being the smooth talker that I am, I've been noticing that how they communicate with the rest of the community, the gaming community, isn't really, perceived very well.
You know what? I think I've had about enough. I'm going to be honest with all of you. And this, Annie, you're going to be here for one of my rants. So I want you to relax, Annie, because it's usually a scary thing. Because I've had about enough of this bullshit. Anybody listening to my voice and want to pay it first of all, if Prodigy, if Triforce, if CG, if anybody wants to come on this show and talk about multi-genre gamers, I am more than willing to listen. So this is a standing invitation. Hell, bring the whole fucking Ark on the goddamn show. I don't care. But I do notice there are two things happening in gaming right now that really sort of piss me the fuck off. The first thing that happens is there's this tinge of elitism. There is no idea of sport. In a matter of fact, most of the people that we run around don't get the business of sport. And you know what I like about you, Annie? I like two things. One, you can fucking write. I can tell that you have gone somewhere and you've become educated. Let me make this clear to anybody hearing my voice. Being educated is really critical for gaming to advance. Because most parents want their children to go on and have a better life than them. And that generally involves, at least at a minimum, getting an undergraduate degree. Undergraduate degree, for those who don't know what that is a 4-year degree, often a bachelor of some kind. Could be a BS, a Bachelor of Science, but that's really important. Many of us now, if we want to make more than $50,000, $60,000 a year, have gone on to get a graduate degree, right? An MBA, an MA, an MS. This is critical. I mention this to you because all we have been doing since we have been doing our podcast, writing our articles, is trying to educate young people about the steps they need to get sponsors, about what they need to do. And I find two forces that seem to be nagging at us. And it starts to get somewhat annoying. The first force is really just kind of like entertainment. It's showmanship, right? I've got Empire Arcadia. They have contracts with their players where they're a management agency and they manage and promote their players. I'm sorry. That is ridiculous to me. That is absolutely ridiculous. Nowhere is eSports in a place where you need managers, where you need promoters. That's not what the business of eSports is. So yeah, at value, I reject that. I don't see that as the future. On the other side, you have what I often refer to as the old guard. This is the people that came from the Counter-Strike community. That decade long of, these are the things that matter. But both of them shouldn't even have a hand in the fight of what we do, but they can't help themselves. For example, we wrote an article, right? And Geek to Me, it's our blog. I never go on anybody else's blog and say shit to anybody, ever. I read, I think, that's good. But along comes these people from organizations, and it's just a couple, who are like, oh, you're not qualified to write about sponsorships. I'm like, what? Tens of thousands of dollars have poured out of VV Gaming into the pockets of gamers. That's one. Two, I've been over to 22 major events over the last 3 years, starting all the way back to Major League Gaming in Charlotte. So I've seen one or two things in my day. But along come the people. They're not there to benefit esports. They're not there to grow knowledge. They've never written anything to educate the outside world. What do? They attack. And you know why they attack? Because they feel threatened. And why they feel threatened is because they're not resting on their accomplishments anymore. They're resting on some sort of idea. There seems to be some kind of an idea that my kind of gamer is better than yours. Because both the Empire and Prodigy and CG, their idea of being a better gamer is they use the term, well, I'm a multi-genre gamer. I'm known. I do all this stuff. So therefore, What I do is I tell everybody, well, so what if you beat me at DJ Hero? So what if you beat me at this? I don't spend all my time doing that. I get out there and know. Well, you know what I say to you people? Fuck off. Come on this show and tell me how the fuck a multi-genre gamer does anything. Do you know how many kids I know are good multi-genre gamers? Fuck, that's why Ultimate Gamer was created, was to give people who play mini games and are good a chance to sort of get their personalities out there. It's a little bit about personality. It's a little bit about gaming excellence. It's a little bit about showmanship. Because we need to identify people who are marketable, and Ultimate Gamer is good for the United States of America. Because people in America don't want to follow fucking sports we lose at. Fucking EG flies their fucking Counter-Strike team to Europe. They fucking get eliminated in group play, and then I've got to listen to a fucking DJ Wheat Live on 3 show that gets hijacked by fucking Sir Scoots, who cries about a fucking ruling regarding a yellow card for another Counter-Strike team. You know what that is? That's bullshit. What that is protecting brand identities. That is nothing to do with the growth of esports. Nothing. But you know what? We write a little article on the Chicago Tribune blog where we talk about things players need to do, and along comes somebody, and let me tell you how stupid they are. This is what pisses me off. They come on, and some clown says Counter-Strike players make $1,000 to $8,000 a month. And I say, look, this is not even going to make sense. Let's take your lowest answer. If a Counter-Strike team makes $1,000 a month, there are 5 players on the team. That's $5,000 a month. Someone's shelling out $60,000 a year. Now, granted, that could be pieced together, and that's the minimum. So I don't think there are too many teams that are doing that, if any. Along comes Sir Scoots, Mr. Counter-Strike himself, him and Alex. You know what? I don't even care about Counter-Strike. But along they come, and they're like, all right, well, maybe I don't know where he gets 8,000, but, 1 to 3,000. Okay, let's say it's 1 to 3,000. Let's say you're right. I concede it. But North Americans aren't getting, all right, we're on the lower end of that. Okay, so let's say Americans get $1,000 a month. Let's go with that argument. Guaranteed salary, all 5 players, plus travel, meals, products, whatever else is on your list. You know what that is? That's $12,000 a year. I don't think there's a single human being on the planet who can live on $12,000 a year. So that's not professional. I am super critical of Major League Gaming, but I am critical about them because in many ways they may be our best hope. And by consistently letting them know where they are in error, they may be improved. And the more I learn about the old guard, and the more I learn about crap like Empire Arcadia, I start to think, maybe Major League Gaming is the way it is for a good reason. Maybe they have actually done something good. Maybe they got sick and tired of the old guard, and they saw all this bullshit, and they said, fuck all this shit. They went and got $42.5 million, and they decided, you know what, fuck all you, we're going to play Halo. And I think they may actually be the smartest people in the room. Because the only thing that the United States is always on top of is Halo. Why? Because somebody did right. And you know what? I don't care about Counter-Strike the same way most Americans don't care about fucking Starcraft. Because Americans don't like to watch people lose. That's why if you go and ask somebody, well, what do you think about soccer? Oh, soccer's gay. It's a fag sport. Why? Not because soccer doesn't take an enormous amount of skill and endurance, but because America isn't good at it. And American culture is such, if we're not good at it, we don't care about it. So to Sir fucking Scoots, who's crying on his fucking Twitter account, shut the fuck up, Lord Jareth. If you think for a minute I'm afraid of you, or in any ways am going to be intimidated by EG or you or Alex, I don't care if DJ Wheat spends a whole fucking show talking about VV Gaming. Not at all. I will tell you what I am going to say. We do invaluable things to teach people about esports. We do important things to make all gamers feel like they can be a part of esports. They don't have to be multi-genre gamers who are known. They don't have to be some elitist pig who plays a decade-old game and who relies on old knowledge. They don't. They get to enjoy themselves and have fun and be a part of esports. And if that pisses any of you off, go fuck yourself, because we are going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep writing articles, and I'm going to keep critiquing. This is what No Fluff sounds like. This is what No Fluff is about. I don't whine about bad calls our Gears or Halos teams get in matches. We just accept it and move on, because it's drama and it's nuance, and we don't have time for that. And that's what pissed me off this week.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Okay, I'm good.
Wow. How do we even follow that?
Yeah, I don't know if we can, because my panties need to be changed.
Whoa. So yeah, I'm glad I got to get that off my chest. Hopefully, I didn't scare anybody here. How's everybody doing?
I think I still have a pulse. Oh my God, that was a little intense. I'll admit it.
Yeah, I had to get that off my chest. Annie, are you still okay?
Yep.
I changed my underwear.
I hope in a good way. I hope that's like a good way.
What?
You know it.
No.
That's
You know what? No. That is
After
wrong.
you're too young. We told you not to play
I
Red
played
Light.
Red Light. I'm
Now you're doing this.
experienced.
It's terrible.
I'm experienced.
Annie,
Oh.
we're
Have you,
gonna definitely be following you. Hopefully, we'll hear about your qualifying run this year for the World Cyber Games and maybe even see you in Los Angeles. You never know.
Hopefully.
All right, everybody. Before we end the show, I want everybody to listen to a voicemail we got from somebody who I think echoes a lot of the themes and the messages that we have. I was really humbled and moved by this caller. Jason, could you play that call for us, please?
Hello, friends from the Losers Bracket. I'm Tyrone Hawk, calling you about the latest show. It was great. Want to give my feedback on what I have seen is the common denominator of the latest shows and the rants that you have been posting about, commenting about. It amazed me that professional players that should be professional, as the word says, behave themselves like little kids. I am not into professional gaming as such, but I can tell you, we are all humans, and no one can believe that he's going to be in the top of the wave until forever. There will be always someone that is going to take your place. It amazed me that instead of having humility and accepting the fact that you're here to give support to e-gaming and have people joining this, what we have is some jerks just saying, I am the top, I'm the number one, I don't need to do this, you are just an asshole, you are just a loser. Come on, people, grow up. It amazed me that there are people that should be really persons and not believing themselves gods of gaming. Thank you so much. Appreciate all the effort you're doing and love the show. Take care.
I think we could all agree we could discuss this in great detail, but I feel the caller said it best himself. I want to thank you for calling in. I want to thank you for what you said. Next week, I promise you, we're going to cover remembering what eSports is all about, what sports is all about. I've said it on the show before, what the role of sports in culture and society is. I think that needs to be talked about again. Thank you for your phone call. Thank you for listening. And I'm deeply humbled and honored that you called in. Thank you. This about brings us to the end of the show. What do you think, Jason?
Yeah, I think we've had a really good show. A lot of things we've talked about, like Korea, having Annie here on the show, the tournaments that are going on, the incredible session that you gave us. I think that's a good way to call it. I feel like we should have paid for that. That was something you get down here on OBT in Florida. What is this?
That sounded sexual.
OBT. For those of you that don't know, that's Orange Blossom Trail. And if you've ever been in Orlando, you know exactly what that is. Jason's a filthy bird right there. Done.
You know, never mind. I'm not even going to bring up my last name. With that being said, we've come to the end of the show.
It starts with a K and ends with unts, and it rhymes with cunt.
Oh, my God.
All right, everybody. I want to thank the Gamers Garage, Crash. You guys are fantastic. Thank you for hosting the show. Thank you for all the hard work you do to put it on iTunes, to put it on Zune. I'm asking everybody, please leave us comments on iTunes and Zune. Those comments are critical for us. I want to thank our sponsors, SteelSeries, Control Freak, Custom Ink, and most importantly, I want to give a special shout out to MusicSkins.com. For those of you that don't know, we have over 130 skins available, all VVV branded, that are for you name it, whether it's your iPhone, your iPad, your laptop, your Xbox, your Wii, your Rock Band guitar, your Guitar Hero Les Paul controller. No matter what it is, there are over 130 skins for you to choose from that are all branded with VVV logo, and they look sharp. So I really want to give a special shout out to MusicSkins.com. As always, I want to thank the VVV community for their feedback and support. I want to thank our special guest, Annie. Thank you for being on the show. Everybody be sure to stop over at thegamersgarage.com. This is where you're going to find out all the ways to follow us. Most of you already know Facebook, MySpace, Twitter. Also, they've got some other great podcasts on the Gamers Garage. Don't hesitate when you get bored. Even if you're looking for a good laugh, hop in, download one of them. You're going to be thankful. Also, you can leave us feedback by calling our voicemail at 206-350-7352. You can also email us at mailbag@thegamersgarage.com. Also, Devastation is coming up. You're going to get $5 off your registration, whether it's a player or VIP. This discount code is VVVGaming2010. If you use that discount code, Jedi Rob is going to give us a list of people. For those of you that use it, we're going to pick one lucky winner, and you're going to get something very special from VV Gaming. So don't forget to use that VV Gaming 2010 discount code, because we are offering a really, really cool prize pack for those of you that use it. And finally, I want to say thanks to my co-hosts. You guys are awesome.
Aw, we love you too, Jerry.
Welcome.
Why, thank
Say
you,
love.
Bear Bear.
Hold on there.
You're welcome.
But thank you so much. All right, everybody. Community, we love you. You're Keep It Real. By the way,
You just said don't say love.
I know, I'm guilty. Shout out to Jake. Good luck to Jake. Hopefully he qualifies for Ultimate Gamer 2. Power to the VV community for taking him from third to now being in first place. That is all you guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Yeah.
everyone.
Have a great week.